Hey guys, it's Coach Bailey Show. James Phillips back this week. Coach Philip Bailey. Sorry, I was out last week a little sick.
You did. You had some health stuff going on.
Yeah, but
you back okay now?
I'm
you
making
got
it.
both feet.
I got
okay.
both
So
feet.
was it the foot or was it the toe?
It was foot and leg.
Okay, because I'd hate to give you some toe nicknames like Toby Bryant or right. Tobo Cop or anything like that.
Well, my toes got a lot of talk in the hospital because they're
right.
painted yellow right now.
Right. That had to be one of your girls that did that.
Yeah. So.
You're a girl dad.
That's
so
right.
Those things happen.
You got to do those kind of things.
Sure.
You just don't know they're going to be broadcast sometimes.
Well, tough deal. But glad you're on the mend. Glad they got you healed up.
And we can talk about a Viking win.
That's right. Viking win. So Bentley, he stepped in, co-hosted the show in your absence. So we got him back to 1-1.
Right.
The first time he hosted we lost that game. So we won this one. So glad we got him back to 500. So it was good, man. Yeah, big region win for our kids. Proud of them. Proud of the way that they played. Proud to get that win on senior night, last home game. It was a good night. Talk
about some of those seniors before we go into the game.
Yeah, I had 14 of them. So Kevon Samuels, Preston Reed, Jackson Blackwell, Dalton Dawkins, Caden Mormon, Jody Hester, Trayvon Stewart, Jaden Caldwell, Tyrese Shelton. I know I'm probably going to miss somebody. J.P. Hollis, Cam Smith. I really hope that's all of them.
Well, and every one of those guys that you named, they have stepped up this year.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, played pivotal roles for us, man. So really going to miss those guys. And those guys mean a lot to me, and I've said this before. This is my fourth season here. 2 as offensive coordinator, 2 as a head coach. So those guys were freshmen when I got here, and then now they're seniors, man. So everything that they've been through, with this program and the ups and downs of different classifications and COVID and just all kind of stuff, man, that they've endured and sacrificed and gone through and really invested and poured a lot into this program, man. So proud of them, proud of their efforts, proud of the standard that they've left here and what they've done. Really, really good thing to send them out with a win.
Well, let's talk about the win. Just go from opening bell to the last second. How did that turn out?
Yeah, well, we started out strong. They got the ball to start. Defense got a stop. We got it in good field position. Trayvon broke a long run, went down and scored. Then they got it back, came right back down and scored. So it was kind of a back and forth there until about midway through the first, and then things got a little crazy for us. Okay, so they scored, right? Then they kicked the ball off. That ball was kind of between our returner and our up back. We did not communicate the way that we need to. That ball hit the ground. They went down and recovered it. Okay, went down and scored again. Then they kicked a surprise onside kick, which you give them some credit. That was a well-executed deal. That kid hit the ball pretty well on that deal. So then they got it back again right there at midfield. So they had 3 consecutive possessions of the football. Stole 2 possessions for us. So had to stabilize some things. There was some craziness going on right there. But ended up getting the ball back. We were able to stabilize it. They scored 24 points in the first quarter, Mortimer Jordan did. Didn't score any in the second quarter. So then we ended up, took a 2-point lead to halftime. It was 26-24 at halftime. We had a snap exchange on an extra point, and then we just missed another extra point. So we were having to break in a new holder. Both of our holders were out. We were down to our 3rd holder, so Carter Reed held. Connor Elmore had an opportunity to hold that second one.
You don't say that very often, though. We're down to our 3rd holder.
No, there's not a whole lot of spaces on the special teams depth chart for your 3rd holder. But, I mean, it is what it is. So you had some guys go out, and you got to have guys step up. And Carter Reed ended up managing most of the holding duties for us on PAT field goal right there and did a good job. So took a 2-point lead to halftime. It was 26-24. Got the ball to start the second half. Okay, went down and scored, pushed it out to a 9-point lead. And really from that point in the game, we were able to maintain that. We never trailed again in the game, right? So they'd score and then we'd score, right? And then they didn't score again until they had that one right there at the end of the game, I think with under a minute left. But we pushed it out to 2 scores, and we were able to keep that for the rest of the game. So defensively, man, I mean, if you look at it on its head, they gave up 38 points, and they did give up some big plays in the pass game. I think there was about 350 yards in the pass game. But outside of a few things like that, their performance wasn't as bad as the 38 points might have indicated. Right. I told you they stole 2 possessions in the kicking game. Got the ball in really good field position. They only scored 24 in the first. They only scored 14 the whole rest of the game. Yeah. And one of them was with under a minute left and we were up by 3 touchdowns. So they really, I mean, you know, if you kind of look at it, they got some stops when we had to have stops. They forced 3 turnovers. Jaden Caldwell had 2 interceptions, and then Malachi Gilmore recovered a fumble. Malachi Gilmore is playing really well this year for us, man. Really proud of him and the performances that he's been able to turn in and what he's doing for us. So forced 3 turnovers on defense, which was huge. We did not turn the ball over on offense. I'm glad we got back to that, being in plus territory and turnover margin. Past 2 weeks we had not been, so really challenged them last week to get back to that, forcing turnovers and then us not turning the ball over. So we were able to do that. That's winning football. Really proud of them for that. So defensively, again, there was some positives, some things we got to get cleaned up, but forcing the turnovers was positive. Kicking game was probably one of the worst games we've played all year in the kicking game, and I really challenged those guys this week because we started the year out strong on special teams, okay? And I feel like we've kind of lulled maybe the past 2 weeks in that, and I challenged them to really finish strong and finish well in the kicking game because we're going to need it. So we was daggum offsides 3 times on kickoffs in the game, and then we let them steal 2 possessions on kickoff return, and we missed 2 extra points. So we got some work to do. We got to get better on special teams, and I know that we will. Offensively, man, really proud of those guys. That's probably, I would say, as complete a performance that I've been around in a while on the offensive side as far as what they turned in, as far as just controlling the football game. I mean, obviously, it's easy to look at 54 points and 500-something yards offense and 450 rushing yards. But if you really look at the game, man, look at it possession by possession, the way that offensively that we were able to control the football game. We scored the first 4 times we touched it. We got a holding penalty. We did have to punt. Had an end-of-half scenario where it was really we were trying to just take that lead into the locker room. You know, I remember talking on the sideline because we had 45 seconds left. We did have 2 timeouts. We're on our own side of the field. I said, if we pop one, then we'll try to go score. I said, but we're not going to do anything crazy. If you think back to the minor game now, it would have been a 1-score game. You know, going in the locker room, and then we're trying to go score. It ended up being a 3-score game. I said, we're not going to do anything crazy. I said, if we pop one, we'll try to go score. Ended up, we got Kevon loose on a wheel ball down the sideline. So we got down there, and if we had our typical holder, we probably would have tried to kick a field goal in that scenario because Preston could hit it from that distance. But, you know, having a freshman out there and having 2 issues on extra points before that, I didn't think kicking the field goal was the right call in that spot. So anyway, there was about 7 seconds left, you know, when we snapped that ball. So didn't score on that one. And then in the second half, we scored every time that we touched it until we put a knee on it at the end. So you look at really 10 possessions in the game. We scored 8 touchdowns and really controlled the line of scrimmage, man. Super proud of Trayvon Stewart. I think he ran it 32 times for 280 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jody Hester had 4 carries for 4 touchdowns. So you should add him on your fantasy football team. He'll get you a lot of points.
He doesn't need yardage. He's just getting those touchdowns.
He gets the touchdown.
Touchdown dependent.
That's it. That's it. Spencer threw it. We only threw it 10 times in the game. He was 8 of 10 for 100 and some odd yards. He had over 100 rushing yards and a touchdown. I think that's probably one of the best games that he's played from the standpoint of quarterbacking his football team and everything that means. Okay, so he wasn't asked to throw the ball as much as he typically does. There's so much that goes into playing that position, okay, that's beyond the stat sheet. And quarterbacking his football team is what he did better than I've probably seen him do since I've been here. We had 0 alignment issues. We had 0 procedural issues. He never put us in a bad spot. His pre-snap reads were good. His post-snap reads were good. The way he managed and commanded that offense. His leadership over there on the sideline was probably the best that I've ever seen it, and just moving his team down the field. I thought he did as good a job as I've seen. So, yeah, man, it was a team win. It was a team win. Offensively, really pleased with the performance they turned in. I thought they did a lot of good things. Defensively, they did some good things as well. Some things we got to get cleaned up, you know, but they forced 3 turnovers and certainly got some stops when we needed them. And then we got some work to do in the kicking game, you know, because we need to be better in that phase. We have been better, and we need to be better. But team win, man, and proud of it. Proud for our kids and the result they got.
Well, it was sure a game that I wish I would have been at because I was keeping up with it on DMEPrepZone.com, the scoring, and just there early going back and forth in the halftime score. I thought, man, this would be a game to be at. But
it was fun. It was a fun one for sure.
I'd have rather been there and stuck at Walker Baptist for sure.
I'm sure of that. Yeah.
Now, let's transition to this week. Pinson Valley, you know, they've won, what, 2 out of the last 3 state championships?
3 out of the last 4.
3 out of the last 4.
17, 18, and then 2020 last
Right.
year. Yeah.
And so 3 out of the last 4 championships, they've been just a growing ground for SEC talent and things like that. But this year, not as many of those type guys.
Maybe not as many, but they're still a very good football team. So they've lost 3 games so far this year. They lost to Hewitt-Trussville, which is a 7A school. They lost to J.O. In a 1-score game, and then they lost to Clay last week. Which them and Clay is always a really big rivalry game. I think this is the first time in maybe 6 or 7 years that Clay has beat Pinson.
Right.
So that was a big deal. I know Pinson had some turnovers in that game. I think they turned it over 5 or 6 times. So the final ended up being 42-23, something like that. But Pinson still has a lot of really talented football players, man. Got a quarterback, Zach Pyron. I think he's committed to Georgia Tech right now. I know it was Baylor at one point. I think it's Georgia Tech now. Got a running back, number 4. It's a really good player. And they got some wideouts that can absolutely skin it.
And they're always big,
yeah,
too.
these jokers can go. Yeah, they are. Defensively, they can run, man. I mean, they can run. Maybe not as big in the box as some of the other teams that we've played, but they got some guys that can play football, man. On the back end, they can really run. 2 is a safety. He's a really good football player. He'll come down in there in the box and drop his hat in there. 7's a corner that can play. 21, I believe. I mean, they got some guys on the back end that can run and can play. Team speed is really high again this week. So we certainly got our work cut out for us. We need to be playing our very best football. If we play our very best football game, then I think we might have a chance. And, we'll see what happens. So, but we got to be at our best, that's for sure.
Well, especially if they can come in and they can turn the ball over again 5 or 6 times, that'd
be great. That would be welcomed if they will do that. That'd be great.
You talked about some of the things that your team needs to do as far as working on the kicking game and things like that. But what do you tell a team after? I mean, this is the 3rd, 4th, 5th best team that y'all have been playing. I mean, y'all have played so many good teams this year. How do you keep talking to the kids? How do you keep the team up, ready to go play against teams like this?
I think you tell them exactly what I just told you. Let's go be at our best. Let's have our best week of practice, right? Let's get ready to play our best football game on Friday night. And if we do that, then let's find out where we're at, Because at the end of the day, if you play as hard as you can and you play your very best football, then the result is going to be the result. I mean, we all want to win. I mean, that's why we do this, is to win.
Right.
But if you are playing as hard as you can, doing everything you can to be successful, and you turn in your very best football game, then the result's going to be the result, So let's kind of find out where we're at. I think that's what you tell them. That's my message.
How much confidence has the team gotten over the last few weeks, as well as the offense has played?
I think they've got a lot of confidence. I do. I think they're playing well. I think they can sense that they're playing well, and I think they're playing with a good bit of confidence, which is a good thing. That's where you want to be.
Oh, yeah.
This time of year.
Being a road game, tough place to go play. I know you want to get everybody that will to head out there.
Absolutely, yeah. Game will be at Pinson Valley. Tickets will be on GoFan. As many people as we can have with us will be helpful. Last time we went on the road to Jackson Olin, I think we outnumbered their fans there. So the Jasper people always travel, always come support us. Definitely need as many as we can. That'll certainly be helpful to our guys.
Yep, that's right, guys. Y'all got to go out and support the Vikings this week. Big game. And they need all the support they can get.
We need to get you a sideline pass. Maybe roll you out there.
I need it.
So you can be on.
Do they make a wheelchair pass?
I can get you one.
I'm not going to do it. I will walk. It doesn't matter. Well, Coach, anything else this week?
No, I appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate y'all. I'm glad that you're on the mend. Glad that you're back here with us. So appreciate all the support that we've had this season. I need everybody to pack up and come on the road with us, man. We'll go get after Pinson Valley and see what happens. So appreciate y'all. Go Vikes!
Go Vikes. We'll see you next week.